On behalf of the Philippine Nurses Association of America and the Patnubay sa Pagtatagumpay Mentoring Program, maraming salamat po for joining us for Webinar 3, Writing for Impact, Practical Strategies to Get Published. I'm very grateful to be here tonight. Since joining P3, I've had the opportunity to learn from so many great mentors and colleagues who truly went out of their way to see each other succeed. And as someone early in my nursing career, it's been very inspiring to be part of a community like PNAA that believes every nurse has a story worth sharing and knowledge worth contributing to our profession. And tonight's webinar is a perfect example of that. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few quick housekeeping reminders. Please keep your microphone muted unless you're invited to speak, especially during our Q&A later. And continuing education credits are available for attending this webinar, but you must stay for the entire 1-hour meeting. You will also need to fill out the evaluation form at the end of the webinar, which we will post in the chat. If you have questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat, and our moderator will lead the Q&A immediately following our presentation. We also encourage you to use the Zoom reactions throughout the evening. They're a great way to show your support for our speakers and stay engaged during the session. And as is our tradition in P3, we'll begin with an opening prayer. We invite everyone to join in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And it is my pleasure to invite Chris Escurria, President-elect of PNA San Diego P3 Mentor, to lead us in prayer. Chris, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Let us bow our heads. Loving God, as we gather for this P3 webinar, we pause to acknowledge your presence in this space. Let us begin by centering ourselves, taking a breath, softening our shoulders, and opening our hearts to the purpose of this moment. Mentorship at its core is a sacred exchange. It is the meeting of two journeys, each carrying wisdom, questions, hopes, and experiences that were never meant to be kept to oneself. Today, may we remember that mentorship is not about perfection or expertise. It is about presence. It is about listening with compassion, speaking with intention, and recognizing the light in someone else, even when they cannot yet see it themselves. It is about creating a space where vulnerability is welcomed, where questions are honored, and where growth is celebrated as a shared victory. As we move through the session, may we stay open, open to inspiration, open to connection, and open to the quiet moments where clarity emerges. May this time remind us that every conversation has the potential to heal, to empower, and to transform. May we live today with renewed purpose, to mentor with integrity, to uplift with kindness, and to serve with a spirit that reflects the very best of who we are. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Maraming salamat po, Chris. And thank you for helping us begin our evening together. Next, it is my pleasure to welcome someone whose leadership and service continue to inspire our P3 community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Bob Gahol, President of the Philippine Nurses Association of America and P3 Advisor, for tonight's opening message. Dr. Gahol, it's my pleasure to turn the program over to you.
Hi, thank you, Nicelle. Good evening and aloha, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar. So tonight's webinar reflects PNAA's commitment to advancing nursing excellence through scholarship and lifelong learning. We are honored to welcome our distinguished speakers, Dr. Lorraine Evangelista, and of course, our moderator, Dr. Miriam Cabral-Stevens. So thank you both for sharing your expertise and helping our members strengthen our scholarly voice. I encourage everyone to engage, ask questions, and take advantage of this wonderful opportunity. I hope you leave tonight's feeling inspired and equipped to share your work with the world. I want to see more published articles from our members soon. Last year, I think we published about 12 articles. I'm hoping we will double or triple that. So through tonight's webinar, I think it will inspire more members to publish their articles. So thank you for joining us and enjoy the webinar. Good night. Good evening.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Gahol, for these very encouraging and thoughtful remarks. We're now moving into tonight's featured presentation. It's my pleasure to introduce our moderator for the evening, Dr. Miriam Cabral Stevens, professor at Eastern Michigan University and president professor at Eastern Michigan University, president-elect of PNA Michigan, and P3 mentor for cohorts 1 and 3. Dr. Carol Stevens will introduce our featured speaker and will lead our Q&A immediately following our presentation. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicelle, and good evening, everyone. I'm actually excited and honored to introduce tonight's guest speaker. Dr. Lorraine Evangelista is actually a nationally and internationally recognized nurse scientist and clinical research leader. Her work focuses on improving outcomes for patients with chronic heart failure by advancing patient-centered, evidence-based care and integrating research into clinical practice. Her research spans symptom management, self-care, and quality of life, with strong emphasis on translating findings into real-world settings. Dr. Evangelista has also authored more than 190 peer-reviewed publications with an H-index of 58, which is really a high impact and high productivity, and secured over 15 million in National Institute of Health funding. A fellow of the American Heart Association and the American Academy of Nursing, she is also an inductee of the International Nurse Researcher Hall of Fame by Sigma Theta Tau International Honor Society of Nursing. She is widely recognized for advancing interdisciplinary collaboration and improving patient outcomes across healthcare systems. Let's welcome tonight's guest speaker, a colleague, a mentor, and a friend, our very own Dr. Lorraine Evangelista.
Hello, everyone. Can you see the background?
Not yet.
Can,
Oh, there.
oh, okay. Can everyone see now?
Yeah, now we
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Miriam, for that introduction. Miriam's actually a very close friend for over a decade now. So time flies. It means we're getting older, Miriam.
Yep.
Anyway, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you. When Priscilla invited me to speak about publishing, I knew right away that I did not want this to feel like a lecture about rules, rejection letters, and journal formatting. Although sadly, all three will show up somewhere in our lives as authors. Tonight, I would like us to think about publishing as a craft like pottery. Manuscript writing takes patience, practice, and a willingness to let the work be shaped. No one makes beautiful vessel the first time they touch clay, and no one writes a perfect manuscript in the first draft. At least no one I want to sit beside at a writing retreat. So our time together is about shaping scholarship, taking ideas where we already carry, giving them structure, working with others, revising with care, and finally sending them into the world as contributions that can strengthen nursing and improve lives. So why pottery? I usually always use metaphors when I'm giving my lectures, but why did I choose pottery tonight? So basically, pottery gives us permission to slow down. A manuscript is rarely born polished. It begins as something new, an idea, an observation, a quality improvement project, a teaching innovation, a clinical question, or a story from practice that deserves to be shared. This clay has to be centered before it can hold its shape. In writing, that means we need to know the point of the paper, who needs to hear it, and why it matters. If the manuscript wobbles, it is often because we began writing before the idea was centered. And then comes revision. Revision is not punishment. Revision is shaping. It is how we discover what the paper is really trying to become. The first draft gives us clay. The latter drafts give us form. That Okay, I'm just going to go back to what I'm going to cover for tonight. So basically, by the end of the time together, I hope you leave not only with practical strategies, but also with little more courage to begin or to return to a manuscript that has been quietly waiting for you on your desktop. We all have those files. Some of them have names like Final, 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 Final version 3. We will walk through the publication journey from several angles, as authors trying to tell a clear story, as reviewers trying to help the work become stronger, and as editors trying to decide where a paper fits the journal and serves its readers. Most of all, I want this to feel doable. Publishing is not reserved for a chosen few. It is a learned craft. And like all crafts, we get better through practice, feedback, collaboration, and perseverance. I'm going backwards. That's not good. So, every strong manuscript begins with the right clay. Not every project is ready to become a paper, and that is okay. Sometimes we need more data, more reflection, a clearer audience, or a stronger connection to the literature before the idea can hold its shape. Before writing, I like to ask, what is the story? Who needs to hear it? What does this add to nursing practice, education, policy, or science? If we cannot answer those questions simply, the paper may not be ready yet, or the idea may need to be shaped differently. This is also where we decide what kind of manuscript we are actually making. Is it a research study, quality improvement, evidence-based practice? Is it education? Is it a review, a practice innovation, or just simply an opinion or perspective paper? Naming the form early serves us from trying to make a teapot, a vase, a casserole dish, all in the same manuscript. Once we have the clay, we center the work. In pottery, centering looks simple from the outside, but anyone who has tried it knows it requires steady hands and patience. In writing, centering means clarifying our purpose, audience, journal, article type, and author guidelines before we get too far down the road. One practical habit I recommend in choosing one or possibly two journals early. Read what they publish, look at the article types, look at the word limits, table limits, and reporting guidelines and scope. This is not glamorous work, but it prevents many headaches later. As an editor, I can say gently, sometimes papers are rejected not because the work is weak, but because the paper was sent to the wrong journal or shaped for the wrong audience. Centering the works helps us give the manuscripts its best chance. Now we build the form. A strong manuscript part has architecture. The introduction tells us why this matters. The methods or approach tells us what was done and how. The results or findings tell us what emerged. The discussion tells us what it means, and the implication tells us what should happen next. When any of these pieces are missing or out of proportion, the manuscript becomes harder to follow. Reviewers should not have to hunt for the purpose, guess what happened, or wonder why the paper matters. We want to guide them kindly and clearly. I often remind writers that structure is not the enemy of creativity. Structure is what allows the message to stand. A beautiful vessel still needs a base, walls, and balance. A beautiful manuscript does too. This slide is close to my heart because very few strong papers are created alone. A good writing team can make a manuscript sharper, more rigorous, and more useful. The key is to make the collaboration intentional from the beginning. Match strengths to roles. One person may know the clinical story deeply, another may be strong with methods, another may be the tables and figures wizard. Another may be the person who sees every comma and says, Lorraine, we are really using that many semicolons. We need all of them. Also clarify authorship early. It is much easier to have that conversation at the beginning than after the paper is accepted and everyone suddenly remembers. They are spiritually present during the project. A strong team needs clarity, trust, deadlines, and no one lead voice to keep the manuscript coherent. This is where writing starts to feel like editing, and sometimes like pruning a very beloved garden. Good writing is not more complicated. It is clearer. Our goal is not to impress readers with how much we know. Our goal is to help them understand what matters. We can trim in several ways. Say what we mean, avoid unnecessary jargon, keep one main point per paragraph, and use tables and figures wisely. If a table can show something more clearly than a paragraph, let the table do the work. If a sentence has to be read 3 times, it's probably needs mercy. Clarity is a gift to reviewers. When the paper is easy to follow, reviewers can spend their energy evaluating the science, the contribution, and the implications, not trying to untangle the writing. The discussion is where many manuscripts either come alive or become a repeat performance of the results section. We do not want to simply report what we found. We want to help readers understand why it matters. This is where we interpret meaning, connect to the evidence, acknowledge limitations honestly, and explain implications. A strong discussion says, here is what we learned. Here is how it fits with what we already know. Here is what we still do not know. And here is why this matters for nursing practice, education, policy, and future research. Think of this as glazing the piece. The glaze does not change the structure, but it gives depth, finish, and purpose. It helps the reader see the value of the work beyond the results themselves. Now we go into the kiln, submission and peer review, the most exciting part of manuscript writing. This is part of publishing that can feel hot, uncomfortable, and slightly personal, even when the reviewers are trying to be helpful. I always tell authors, do not read the reviews for the first time when you are tired, hungry, or already annoyed with the world. That is not a winning combination. Peer review is not a verdict on your worth. It is part of how strong work becomes stronger. Sometimes the comments are generous. Sometimes they are confusing. Occasionally, they make us wonder whether reviewer two had coffee that morning, but there is usually something we can learn. The best response is calm, respectful, and complete. Use a point-by-point response. Thank the reviewers, address each concern, explain what you changed, and if you disagree, do so professionally and with evidence. Sa sariling loob natin, pwede natin sabihin BS, pero we need to be professional when we're responding to the reviewers. The goal is not to win the argument. The goal is to strengthen the manuscript. This slide reflects the 3 perspectives I carry with me as an author, as a reviewer, and as an editor-in-chief of healthcare. As authors, we ask, is my message clear? Is the work ready? Did I choose the right journal? As reviewers, we ask, is this rigorous, ethical, clear, useful, and coherent? As editors, we ask another set of questions. Does this fit the journal? Is it important to our readers? Can peer review improve it? Sometimes a paper may be good work, but not the right fit. This is disappointing, but it's not the same as saying the work has no value. Seeing the manuscript through these three lenses helps us become better writers. It also helps us become kinder reviewers and more strategic authors. The same vessel looks different to the maker, the examiner, and the curator. Okay. I love this message because many nurses already have what it takes to publish. You have the story, you have the experience, you have the questions that come from practice. You have seen that what works, what does not work, and what needs to change. That is clay worth shaping. What many people need is more brilliance. They need support, structure, encouragement, and someone to say, let's take the next step. Publishing is a journey, not a solo climb. We do not have to be perfect to begin. We only have to be willing to begin, revise, and keep going. And please remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every published paper was once a rough draft. Every polished manuscript once had a sentence that made the author say, "What was I trying to say here?" That is part of the craft. As we come toward the close, I want to thank you for being here and for caring enough about nursing knowledge to think about publishing. Your work matters. Your voice matters. Your patients, students, colleagues, and communities deserve to benefit from what you have learned. Publishing is not about a CV line, although I will not pretend that CV lines are not nice. Publishing is also about making knowledge visible. It is about helping someone else avoid a mistake, try an intervention, understand a community, improve a process, or feel less alone in their work. My hope is that you leave encouraged to keep writing, keep believing, and keep building. The world is waiting for what only you and your team can create. Thank you.
Wow, that was an excellent presentation, Dr. Evangelista. I do remember you now mentoring me years ago with how to publish all my abstracts. That's been in my drawer. And you've tackled actually all the aspects of how a novice writer or where to start, the middle, and the review and all that. Uh, for a novice writer, what is your recommendation or suggestion on which journal would they choose to publish uh, their article or the manuscript that they have?
Well, let's step back a few steps,
Mm-hmm.
Miriam. I think what's really important is for them to find a mentor. That mentor
Mm-hmm.
should be holding their hands on the first manuscript. In my case, usually when it's their first manuscripts, I basically draft it for them. And then when they expect me to draft the second manuscript, I'm like, I'm not doing it. You're doing it. You should have learned the first time around. So, yes, I'm proud to say I was part of the 12 papers that were published. I was the
Yeah.
mentor behind all the papers that were published, and we still have 5 more that are being reviewed. So, Bob, hopefully will be able to meet your goal for your term and continue to publish.
Oh,
But
Dr.
I,
Evangelista,
yeah.
unmute yourself, or it's just me?
Oh, no.
No, we can hear her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, like I said, because I am close to retirement and because now I'm no longer in a busy position, like I don't have an associate dean position, I've been more available to newcomers and people who have not even published before, or when I'm at a conference and I appreciate one of the presentations, I literally go to the presenters and say, do you want to publish your work? Which I did when I was in Siliman during the
Mm.
PNAA um, global summit in Conrad, I was invited to also fly to Dumaguete, and I gave the keynote there for the International Nursing Symposium. And it's funny because two of the presenters who were faculty at Silliman University did a great presentation. And I went up to them, I said, let's publish. And they're looking at me like, how do we do that? And now they're like so happy because they published two of their papers since January, and they're still working on a third one. So um opening doors for other people, I think, is one thing I love to do. I mean, Miriam, you were there. You were there in your first one, and look at you
Yep.
now. You're now the mentor. So it's just, I think once you learn, you know how to pass along the baton. So yeah.
I learned from the best. Actually, there's one in the chat box. Dr. Evangelista, I absolutely love your analogy of manuscript preparation and publication to a pottery. The idea that a manuscript, like a piece of pottery, is shaped, refined, and sometimes, ooh, it disappeared, reworked, is a powerful way to describe the beautiful publishing journey. Beautiful, beautiful analogy.
Was there a question? I'm joking. I'm
Oh no, that
joking.
wasn't a question. I thought there was.
Okay.
I thought it was
No,
a
I
question.
am. Thank you.
Actually, as, there are all actually accolades. I mean, it's actually an exceptional presentation. I just wanted to see. Um, so they're all thank you about the analogy, but I do wanted to go over like some questions. Now, how does someone overcome rejection of the first time? I know rejection sometimes to me is a good thing, or sometimes it's a bad thing most of the time. I do have ways of, I have intentional rejections on my part. I think I don't know if it was from you or another one, but what I always tell my students actually, or some colleagues who's not particularly sure how good their manuscripts are, or they're not sure whether it's going to be accepted or not, what I always tell them is actually, you know, you're going to be rejected the first time. Why don't you put it into a journal, send it to a journal that's very rigorous, very tough to get published in, and you know you're going to be rejected, but you know what you're going to get? The best feedback you ever have. And then fix your manuscript to the way the reviewers did give you a feedback, and you have a great chance of kind of like publishing it the second time you revise it, or the third time maybe with just minor revisions. What's your thought on that one?
So I personally, you know what, it's funny because ironically, my very first paper in the American Journal of Cardiology was accepted on one take. So, of course, as a doctoral student, I'm like, oh, easy lang pala mag-publish. I mean, I was so proud of myself. Has that ever happened again in my other 190 publications? No. It was the very first time. It probably just wanted to give me a little push, but since then I've actually had one manuscript rejected 10 times. And I think what I've learned over the years, initially I'd go into hibernation mode. I won't eat.
Mhm.
My husband will know automatically. Did you get a rejection notice? Because I won't eat. I'll just lay down in bed and it's like I'm totally depressed. But now when I'm helping people and they get a review and they're like so overwhelmed, and like recently I was working with the IEN group with Marife and MJ Dia. I don't know if any of them are on the call, but when they get the reviews back, they go, meeting time, we need to meet. It's so many things they're starting to say. And I'm like, relax, guys.
Mhm.
No more meeting. Because when you meet, it's more confusion. So I try to tell them, relax and just take each breath at a time, take each comment at a time and just address it. Because when you meet and you exchange ideas, I think sometimes the real idea that needs to be brought forward gets even muddier and it makes the paper even worse. As far as submitting first to a higher impact journal, I really don't have a I really guide my mentees more to who are the ones that are going to be interested in reading it. Don't go by impact factor. I mean, if you're in academia, like you and I are, Miriam, it's part of the promotion process to show that we publish in high impact factors. But for the people that I feel I'm trying to help, which is more at the grassroots level right now, I always say just get it published. It doesn't really matter where. Now, the one thing that you need to consider now, which I didn't have to consider 30 years ago when I first started, is a lot of journals have open access and the fees are so expensive.
Astronomical.
Yes, so my journal, Healthcare, it's international, the editor-in-chief. I get to give out. So in the Philippines, when they published in my journal, I gave them a waiver. So I said, publish and I'll waive the fees of $3,000. And so they were excited about that. So sometimes if there's an open access, just contact the editor-in-chief and say, I'm poor. Can you do something to help me?
Yes.
The good thing about open access is they have an editorial staff. So when I was first an associate editor of European Journal of Cardiovascular Nursing, we did all the work. The editor would pass down a manuscript. We would have to call, we would have to call the reviewers ourselves, and we would have to use our brownie points to say, "Hi, I did this for you before. Can you review this paper?" But now with healthcare, the editorial staff does everything. So our submission to publication time is 3 weeks for healthcare. So if you have funding, healthcare,
Yes,
come to
healthcare.
healthcare.
Yeah.
I mean, I can read the paper for you and give you guidance as to whether what needs to be changed even before you submit it. And I think that's what you should do, even if you don't know the editor in chief, reach out to them. Everyone will respond anyway. The second paper I got was in the Journal of Nursing Science, and I reached out to the editor who I still now keep in contact with because I told her I'm a doctoral student. I wrote a concept paper in one of my theory classes, and can you take a look at it and consider publishing it? And she went out of her way to even look at it.
She's freezing.
Oh, I think she
Dr.
froze.
Cabral Stevens,
Uh-huh.
we have a line of questions. There are 3 on the chat box.
Oh, yeah.
And Dr.
I think we
Bahol's
lost.
hand
Yeah,
is
I
is
know. I
up.
was gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we lost her.
We just lost
Yeah,
her.
she's at the airport. I had asked if there are questions that are unanswered. We could field it to her if we run
Yeah.
out of time.
I actually have a question that comment and then a question that actually I'll direct it to Dr. Jurado. But I just wanted to make a comment how she beautifully analogized the writing for publication to the pottery making. That was a beautiful analogy. For those that are here, I'm not sure if some people may not be aware that PNAA has a journal, our research publication journal, the JANPAR. So that's a way to maybe we can encourage our members to publish their articles to JANPAR. Dr. Jurado, since you've been involved with JANPAR for many years, can you just explain the process on how someone could submit an article? Because my understanding is that we don't have a lot of our members submitting articles for publication to JANPAR.
Thank you, Bob. Actually, at the back of the journal, every issue, I hope that most of you know that you can access JANPAR to our website, right? It's free. And at the back of the journal, it guides you in terms of what are the expectations in submitting a journal, in terms of style, in terms of how many words, and all that. So it's all there, and you could always connect with the editor in chief, which will be Dr. Mary Joyce Ramos, to begin your publication journey with Janpar, if that's what you are wishing to do.
Oh, thank you. Dr. Evangelista, I just made a comment earlier about how you did a beautiful job analogizing the, writing for publication to pottery making. It really made a lot of sense. So I want to thank you. I also want to thank you for being instrumental in the 12 plus publications that we did last year. And I'm so glad to hear that you have 5 more in the queue. So we need to, you know, to encourage more of our members to submit more publications. So thank you.
Yes. And the good thing is the people we encourage, like when we had Camp Aruga and Orange County. Sorry, guys, I'm at the car rental area. So when Camp Aruga was held in Orange County, Ronnie, Bunau, Carol, they did such a great job that I said, let's put together a paper that describes what you guys did here. And we did. And in the beginning, they're like, paper, Ate Lorraine, I can't do a paper. And I'm like, oh, ah, napaka-brat naman ng batang ito. Anyway, sorry guys, it just so happens I'm traveling today. So yeah, so anyone can publish. They just need the right person to support them. And like I said, I'm also available. I think the last slide had my email on it, or Miriam knows my email. You could put it on chat.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
put it.
We do have oh, Dr. Gahol, are you finished?
Oh, yes, I'm finished.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple of questions in the chat box.
Okay.
Please elaborate on authorship, particularly when you are working with a multidisciplinary authors, including students. Ooh.
So authorship, see, the reason why I was very supportive of all the PNAA papers is because authorship doesn't mean it's whoever wrote the paper. Authorship means it's whoever did the work. The story that's being told, it belongs to them. So one of the first papers we wrote was actually for Dr. Sager. It was the Patnubay P3 program. So I helped draft it, but the fact that you guys were the ones that put the P3 together, that's what authorship gives. I mean, you claim authorship by putting the program together. So when I'm working with my co-faculty in academia, it's it's different. The environment that I'm offering to people at PNAA is different from academia. In academia, it's a dog eat dog world. Everyone will want to be first author. I have learned the hard way when I wrote everything once and someone told me that they were the PI on the funding and that they had to be first author. And I was shocked. I was like, I was a junior faculty, and I'm like, why would that happen? I wrote everything. So I'm the opposite. Right now, I try to encourage people, and I don't claim the authorship because I think it's the pride and incentive that you have to offer to them is being first author. So yeah.
Yeah. This from I don't see the so this is a very timely for me, Dr. Evangelista question. At what point I should say that I'm giving up waiting for my paper to be published? I don't want it to happen to me. I just started thinking about it. Thank you for this presentation. Ooh.
Believe it or not, Miriam, I had one paper that I had to dig out from 10 years ago. When I got funded, my first R01, I wrote a paper when I presented it at the American Heart Association, and then I became Associate Dean for Research at 2 universities back to back. It had to wait. And so now when I considered retirement, I'm like bringing it out and I'm trying to remember what was I thinking then? So to anyone who has data, take notes because we're not getting any younger. The memory will fail us. So sometimes the wait is long though. I have one paper right now that's been waiting a year. And so it's been published. But the caveat is we didn't we actually this is with Mary Joyce. Is Mary Joyce on the
I
call?
don't think she is.
Okay, so Mary Joyce
Yeah.
is the guest editor of the American Journal of Men's Health, and she invited us to submit papers. So we submitted papers, but when she invited us, we thought she was going to waive the APC fees for us. So what we ended up doing was it got accepted, and then they were charging us the fees, and we're like, we don't have money. So now it's in that 6-month waiting phase of are they going to let us publish it for free or not? And I'm almost at the point where I'm going to tell Mary Joyce, we're just going to withdraw and submit somewhere free.
Somewhere, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it varies. If you have a mentor in academia who has funding, ask them. If they have funded projects, they usually have funds to cover your APC fees as well. You should have it, Miriam, right?
Yep. It's interesting you mentioned that because I still have our study during COVID, and we have a lot of data from that one. It kind of like COVID passed already. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Beriones,
Yes.
Dr. Beriones.
So thankful for this. Couple of questions to my colleagues that are listening. There are millions of dollars right now by the federal government to community-based like us, the PNAA, and whoever can do a research study on how to prevent suicide. That's millions of dollars that has been published, that is available to all of us. So I'm going to send it to Dr. Evangelista, which I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Gahol, is our chair still Dr. Evangelista for research?
No, it's
No.
Dr. Erlinda Singaraja from Arizona, but
Okay.
Dr. Evangelista is willing to mentor her.
Yes, definitely. So I'm going to send this. This is very exciting. Lots, millions for the community. And Dr. Evangelista, this is huge for PNAA. Number two, how do we, as there are different levels of nurses right here that are passionate to publish. It could be a reflections of the journey that we have done as leaders. So we need wisdom. How
Yeah.
to
Like I said, it could be like I said, the programs that PNAA has, the P3, the Camp Aruga, we have now 3 papers there. And it's all about telling a story, whatever you want. I mean, it doesn't have to be research. Now a lot of the keynote presentations I've been giving, I'm turning them into manuscripts just because people come to me and say, "Oh, that was wonderful." So yeah, I mean, you can write an opinion paper, a perspective paper.
Yep.
I was trying to encourage one of the students in PNAA that was at Camp Aruga. I don't remember. Nikita? Is she? Yeah, so she presented at the last convention, but I didn't get to see her because I only came for the gala. But like I said, if you have a good idea, I left my email there. Just run it by me and I'll try to guide you in the right direction.
That's what we wanted our colleagues that are listening right now. Take note of that. Dr. Evangelista can mentor anybody that has a reflections of even you being a fellow of the American Academy. So anything that's so important in your journey. Number two, quality improvements. Many of our colleagues right here have done poster presentations that can be published. So get hold of Dr. Evangelista to really expand, if you will, that knowledge. So that's just my passion because you have helped us a lot and you inspired us. So to my colleagues, we got the guru here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too for the trust and I think it's just like I said, we need to leave a legacy behind, and I want to really see more Filipinos publishing.
Yeah. Actually, hearing back Dr. Beriones mentioned about poster presentation, you were the one actually that told me one time while we were sitting with during the Heart Failure Society of America asking me, "You have a lot of abstracts. Why haven't you published it?" And you said, and I asked you, "Well, but it's in the supplement and it's fine." And you said, abstracts does not get into the literature unless you publish it. And that was the one of the lessons I learned from you. Maybe we should have a writing committee, Dr. Gahol.
In Hawaii. If it's in Hawaii, I'll
Hawaii.
come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Actually, that is the task to the research committee. I've
Mhm.
talked to Erlinda Singaraja about it when we had a meeting during the national convention. That's in the plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. From Dr. Horado, looking back at your own journey as an author, what do you wish someone had told you when you were preparing your first manuscript?
I had good mentors, so they prepared me every step of the way. I mean, I had mentors that were as generous as I've become, and I think that's where I learned to be generous. Um, my mentors actually kept throwing manuscripts to me for review, and I felt like I have to do my dissertation. I have to do this, and they always made it a rule. If you present an abstract at a professional organization, don't submit another one until it's a paper. So those are the rules I learned to be disciplined. And that's why I was teasing you, like, you have 4 abstracts here. How come they're not paper? Because my mentor, Kathy Dracup, who was the dean at UC San
Yes.
Francisco, would always say, "Didn't you present in Madrid?" And I said, "Yeah, but I left after my presentation and went sightseeing to Prague and to different places." And she's like, "I need that paper now." And so I learned to be disciplined with her.
Yep. Oh, I know.
And I'm not as strict, actually. When I see passion in people, I'll hang on. But when I see people like not focused or trying to think that they know it all and don't need my advice, I let go. So I need to see the passion for me to hang in there to help you.
To help.
That's
Yeah.
one thing I look for. You don't need to be remarkably intelligent. You don't need to be a straight A student. If you have a story to tell and I see that you're passionate about it, you have me on board.
Excellent. From Dr. Rita Mauricio. Hi, Lorraine. How do you
Hi.
identify predatory journals?
There's a long list of
A
them. And
long
I
list.
mean, the Beals list, BEALL, has a list of predatory journals. And I mean, probably because I am experienced, I can tell right away, but I mean, they're getting less and less now. Someone wants to play with my dog at the airport. Sorry, guys. This is not a this is not a good setup, guys. But anyway,
That's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna attach a manuscript that I just helped someone at Baylor Scott and White Hospital write because they had a quality improvement project on implementing a sepsis 1 prevention program. I mean, I've been out of clinical for 20 years now, and everything has changed, everything has advanced. And so when he came to me, because I had offered myself, I was like, okay, I did offer myself. And when the paper was finally written, he was so happy about it. So yeah, so I was going to put that on the chat, but
Oh,
I can't, I mean, like I said, I'm working on a laptop that I don't even bring around
that's
often because
okay.
it's the, yeah,
That's okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, from Jeneline Lee, would it be better to be the sole writer or have a co-author?
Oh,
Oh,
definitely never be alone. Yeah,
never
don't
be alone.
never be alone. That will never work. Yeah,
Yep.
always. I mean, the people I work with right now, and everyone's familiar with them, with people at UNLV, Ray Serafica, Andrew Reyes, Carol Robles is now part of our team. It's fun. We just tease each other when we get rejections or we get a reviewer comment that's odd. We're like, say, well, maybe reviewer 1 wants to be a co-author. So we tease
Yeah.
each other when we're depressed, but it's a fun thing to find colleagues that are interested in the
Yeah.
same thing you are.
Yep. Absolutely. And also, it's actually better if you have multiple authors, especially those who have already established in the field. It gives you a lot more rigor or
Exactly.
yeah. And uh from Ian Kirit to President Bob, actually, knowing we have a lot of experts in our organization with works that is worthy of publication. Maybe we can hold, oh, that was actually what I was saying. Maybe we can hold a workshop with Dr. Evangelista and get us all on the right path to success and bring PNAA to the world. Yay!
Ian, I offered to help you the first time I saw your abstract, but you never responded to me.
Ooh, oh, that's
I
not good.
no, I think people, when I do randomly just show up and tell them that's a good abstract, I don't usually compliment unless I mean it. So yeah, I think Ian didn't know who I was, and when I told him that's a wonderful abstract, get it published, I don't think he knew. Hey, defend yourself, Ian.
Sorry.
Ian, do you want to unmute?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you have an echo though.
Yeah. So, Dr. Lorraine, I'm so sorry. I was just got sidetracked. Did so
It's
many great things, but it is going your way. You should.
okay. Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
From Dr. Albert Bellaro, Dr. Evangelista, can you elaborate on the impact factor rating? Does that also say something about readership and what readership rating is available for published work? Oh, did I?
For nurses, it's not a big deal. But
Yeah.
in nursing, our nursing journal with the highest impact factor is International Journal of Nursing Studies, and its impact factor is 7.1. A
Yeah.
majority of nursing journals is like 2 point something. Unless you're in academia, I wouldn't even worry about impact factor.
Impact factor. Yep.
The only time you worry about impact factor is if you want to be promoted to tenure or you want to be promoted to professor, because the people that are judging you are people outside this discipline of nursing and they don't understand nursing. So yeah.
And once you get it, it doesn't matter who you
Yeah.
publish.
Yeah. Honest.
Yeah. From Jocelyn Alligood, uh, for research data gathered, how long are data considered relevant? Is it still okay to get manuscripts sent for publication even if the data are considered old? Old as in data gathered now, is that 6 years?
Like I said, the paper I just submitted, it got
Yeah.
it was accepted right away to was drafted 10 years ago, and I had to
Yeah.
change a lot of the sources or the citations
Yeah.
because I mean, usually journals want recent within 5 years citations. So
Citations.
yeah, so there isn't a rule of thumb. As long as your story is unique and your story is innovative, that's what matters. And that's why I think in nursing, it's becoming more these QI and evidence-based projects that are coming out because it's about sharing your story. So
Oh, oh no, she disappeared again.
Yeah, I think she had a message there that she's running low bat and that if she's gone,
Oh, okay.
then then we will just continue.
Oh, okay. So there are several more. Dr. Jurado responded actually to her that many research data are published after 15 years. Do you wanna elaborate on that one,
No,
Dr. Jurado?
no, it's actually, yeah, you've seen that published that some research data are even published even 15 years or later. But she mentioned about changing the citations and all that. So I did provide information as Dr. Gahol asked for the information needed for writers. It's also in the website, I mean, in the chat. So I provided that as well.
Oh, okay. The predatory journals.
And also
Dr.
the predatory journals, I also provided the list.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Okay. From Tony Jayoma, I'm one of those that need mentor like you, Dr. Evangelista. Thank you for expressing desire to teach us Filipino nurses to publish. She is an excellent, I know hopefully she gets, her battery gets in. She is an excellent collaborator and a mentor. I can tell you, one of those things that I really learned about her is really you gotta start writing. If you have to think about what you're gonna write, but you gotta start writing. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Once you get your paper published, it's worth it, and actually you feel very happy about getting your publication, your manuscript published. Cora Munoz collaboration in writing is most productive and rewarding in my opinion. Anybody wants to take is she back? Nope, not yet.
If we could get a
Yeah.
copy of this chat, Carol, it would be great, and we
Yeah.
will share it with Dr. Evangelista
Yeah.
also. That would be great.
Will do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think there's only a few more.
For those of you who
yeah.
plan to be in academia, that's an expectation. So
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Cabral Stevens, and thank you, Dr. Evangelista, for sharing your expertise and encouraging all of us to share our work with the broader nursing community, especially as Filipino nurses, to amplify our voices. I know many of us, me especially included, are leaving tonight feeling very inspired to finally take that next step towards publication. And thank you as well to everyone who participated in tonight's discussion and submitted thoughtful questions. If we weren't able to get to your question this evening, don't worry. As Dr. Sagar said, we'll compile the remaining questions from the chat and share them with Dr. Evangelista after the webinar. Now it's time for one of our fun parts of tonight's program, our raffle. It is my pleasure to invite Carol Robles, Eastern Region Vice President and P3 Steering Committee member, to conduct tonight's raffle. Carol, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, and good luck to everyone. Okay, our first winner is Jennifer Sampson. Congratulations, Jennifer. Dr. Sagar, how many do we have?
2, please.
2? Okay,
Yeah.
next one. Good luck.
Jennifer, would you put your email on the chat, please? I mean, I may have it on file, but if you have an updated one. Oh, Risa.
Congratulations, Riza.
Oh, can you give it to somebody, please, Carol? Thank you so
Sure,
much
sure.
for sharing.
We'll redraw.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, Dr. Alvin John Gustillo. I think it's from the
Alvin is from the
Philippines.
Philippines.
Yes.
Oh.
Alvin,
Alvin.
You
I actually
emailed
met him
me?
at the Global Summit.
From
Yeah, he's from
CPU.
Central
Yeah.
Philippines University.
Okay.
Yes.
Congratulations. Back to
Our
you, Nissan.
Evangelista is back.
Oh, poor thing.
Hello, Dr.
I hope her
Evangelista.
doggy is still there. No one took it.
Congratulations to our 2 raffle winners, and maraming salamat po, Carol. As we begin to wrap up tonight's program, it's my pleasure to introduce the founder of P3 Mentoring Program, Dr. Priscilla Sagar, Professor Emerita at Mount Sinai Mary College School of Nursing and P3 advisor and my P3 mentor. Dr. Sagar has been a very amazing mentor to many nurses through P3, and we're so grateful for her vision, leadership, and continued commitment to helping nurses grow professionally. Dr. Sagar, thank you for all you do, and I'll turn the program over to you for the closing remarks.
Thank you, Nisel. And if Dr. Evangelista is still here, thank you so much for that beautiful, energetic, and empowering presentation. I'm sure that all the attendees have takeaways and will be looking at the file in their homes or previous projects as potential topic for an article. And as has been said before, Dr. Evangelista has been very instrumental in all the publications, not just in P3, but in ILDP and Camp Aruga. Thank you, Dr. Cabral Stevens, for moderating, Nisel Arana for hosting, Chris Iscaria for leading us in prayer, and Chris de la Victoria for getting us CE for this webinar. Of course, we all need to do the short evaluation before we get the CE. I also wanted to thank Dr. Biriones for making this P3 program possible in her tenure, and for Dr. Marlon Saria for continuing it in his tenure. Mentoring is crucial in nursing. P3, now in its third cohort, is exclusively mentoring for PNAA members. While we need other mentors, it is advantageous to have Filipino-American mentors who have gone similar journeys with us and had faced challenges and surmounted them and succeed. Save the date for the remaining webinars. We have 3 more. It's on your registration, and they will have CEs in all of them, courtesy of Dr. De La Victoria. And we are hoping that the mentors will stay for cohort 4. So let's all watch out for announcement for cohort 4. And of course, we welcome new mentors and mentees. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sager. Before we officially end tonight's webinar, we want to take a group photo, so please stay. If you're comfortable, please turn on your camera. Chris, are you able to